Hello, I am Sam. Welcome to USA Talk. The sun rises over the nation's capital, casting golden light over buildings that hold the power to shape lives, and yet beneath the gleam there is a tension that cannot be ignored. It is the tension of a government stalled a system, brought to its knees by disagreement and political strife. The longest federal government shutdown in the history of the United States stretches on, leaving an indelible mark on the people who live within its reach. A nation once proud of its resilience now grapples with uncertainty and fear from the very first day. The effects ripple through every corner of American life. The employees who dedicate themselves to public service find their paychecks halted. A family planning a vacation now wonders if the bills for rent and groceries will be met. A child whose parent works in national parks wakes to the realization that the wonders of the world around them may be closed off and inaccessible. A teacher relying on federal programs watches her carefully constructed plans for the school year crumble as funding disappears like mist into the morning air. It is more than just numbers on a balance sheet or lines on a government ledger. It is the human cost, the quiet suffering of those who do not have the power to influence the outcome but who bear the weight of the impasse. Those who clean the halls of power, those who respond to emergencies, those who maintain the very fabric of national security. They all face a stark reality where dedication meets helplessness, where loyalty meets neglect. The air in Washington seems heavier, the streets quieter, yet the anxiety louder, for every shutdown has faces, and those faces are weary and worried. As the days turn into weeks, the strain begins to show in subtle ways. At first, it is the missed payments, the delayed medical procedures, the postponed inspections, the flickering lights in government offices, hinting at a workforce stretched too thin. The morale of the public servants begins to wane, their pride in their work overshadowed by the uncertainty that looms over every paycheck and every plan for the future. The irony is profound, for they serve a government that cannot serve them in return. Families begin to feel the pressure in ways that cannot be measured by statistics alone. The mother who must decide whether to fill the car with gas or put food on the table, the father who postpones the dental appointment of his child to ensure rent is paid, the young graduate who faces a hiring freeze on a dream career now must wait. The impact extends further still to the millions who rely on services such as national security and public safety. As the shutdown drags on, the intricate web that holds society together shows the frayed edges that had been ignored in times of political stability. Small towns feel it as acutely as large cities, for the federal government reaches into the smallest corners of the country. The rural communities that depend on federal grants for infrastructure, the local health clinics whose funds are delayed, the farmers who watch their subsidies vanish temporarily. It is a reminder that even in a nation as large as the United States, every decision in the capital echoes in every home. The shutdown does not discriminate. It reaches into homes of every size and shape, leaving no one untouched. The economic repercussions ripple like waves across the nation. Businesses that rely on federal contracts are forced to halt operations. Uncertainty breeds hesitation. Investors hold back, and the stock market responds in quiet alarm. Unemployment claims rise, and those who were once confident of their stability begin to wonder if their futures are secure. It is a reminder that government is not just an abstract concept. It is a living force that touches the daily existence of millions, and when it falters, the consequences are both visible and invisible. The emotional toll is just as severe. The anxiety and stress that come with unpaid bills, sleepless nights, and mounting pressure weigh heavily on the minds and hearts of those affected. Some find solace in the community, reaching out to neighbors. Others retreat into isolation, overwhelmed by circumstances beyond their control. There is a quiet despair that seeps into the fabric of daily life that cannot be easily measured but can be felt in every hesitant step, every careful calculation, and every moment of worry that passes through the mind. Children notice more than adults may. Realize their innocence sees the cracks in the world around them. A parent who is stressed, a routine that changes unexpectedly, a vacation that is cancelled, or a park that is closed. These small disruptions accumulate like drops of rain filling a vessel until it overflows. The young carry burdens they are not equipped to carry, yet they absorb the anxiety and uncertainty in ways that leave lasting impressions, shaping their perception of stability and trust in systems they have yet to understand fully. As they shutdown stretches into its second month, the political spectacle continues on television screens and in the halls of power, yet for those living the reality, it is not a spectacle, it is life paused, it is uncertainty etched into every decision, it is the loss of confidence in a system that promises much but delivers unevenly, it is a test of endurance, of patience, and of faith in the very institutions that have long been considered the backbone of the nation. The gap between rhetoric and reality grows ever wider. Across the nation, volunteers step forward, filling the void where government resources have been stalled. Soup kitchens see lines growing longer, food banks struggle to meet demand, and the generosity of neighbors becomes a lifeline, a testament to human resilience and compassion. Yet even these efforts cannot fully replace the structure and support that a functioning government provides. There is courage and there is kindness, but there is also fatigue and frustration as the human spirit is tested in unprecedented ways. The shutdown touches every sector, from transportation to national security, from healthcare to scientific research. The national parks fall silent, the research labs pause their experiments, the TSA agents work without pay, the social security officers delay processing crucial benefits, and even the most routine inspections and administrative functions slow to a crawl. The machinery of government grinds down to a halt, and the people who rely on its function are left navigating a system that no longer meets their needs. Stories emerge from every corner of the country, people who have devoted decades of their lives to service, facing the reality of missing a mortgage payment or having to delay essential medical treatment. The quiet courage of individuals who keep showing up despite the lack of compensation is remarkable, yet the underlying question remains: what is the cost of dedication when dedication alone cannot meet basic needs? The moral and ethical weight of service in the absence of support becomes a daily struggle that leaves lasting scars. The media follows the political drama, highlighting the negotiations and disputes, yet often misses the human side of the story: the family waiting for food assistance, the child unable to attend educational programs funded by federal grants, the firefighter or police officer unsure if they will receive their next paycheck. These are the faces behind the numbers and the statistics that dominate the headlines. They are reminders that policy is not abstract and political disagreement has tangible, sometimes devastating consequences. Economists analyze the financial impact, predicting billions of lost revenue and slowed economic growth. Yet beyond the macroeconomic indicators lies the personal impact: the small business owner who delays expansion plans, the contractor who must lay off employees temporarily, the single parent who works overtime to make ends meet, and the young professional whose career path is paused indefinitely. The shutdown underscores the interconnectedness of the economy and the fragile reliance on the systems that govern daily life. As the government shutdown reaches historic lengths, debates rage over blame and responsibility. Yet the individuals affected have little control over the outcome. They live in suspended reality, where every plan is tentative, every expectation uncertain. The psychological toll manifests in heightened stress, anxiety, and tension among families and communities. The fabric of trust in government frays as promises of resolution remain unfulfilled, leaving a collective unease that permeates through neighborhoods, workplaces, and homes. Community organizations and local governments attempt to fill gaps, but resources are limited and their demand often exceeds capacity. The ripple effects extend into mental health as uncertainty breeds stress, depression, and emotional fatigue. The social impact becomes visible in increased reliance on community support, charitable giving, and emergency aid programs, yet their limitations highlight the essential nature of functioning governmental structures to maintain order and support in a complex society. Through it all, the resilience of the American people shines through in acts of kindness, perseverance, and ingenuity. Neighbors help neighbors. Friends support friends. Strangers provide assistance in ways both large and small. The shutdown becomes a test not only of governmental endurance, but of societal cohesion. The shared experience of challenge forges bonds while simultaneously revealing vulnerabilities that must be addressed in future policy and planning. Historical context reminds the nation that this is not the first shutdown, yet it is unprecedented in length and scope. The consequences accumulate in ways that are difficult to reverse. The lessons are stark. The balance between political maneuvering and the human cost must be carefully weighed. The institutions designed to serve are tested when politics overshadow purpose, and their nation is reminded of the fragility inherent in even the most enduring systems. Eventually, the negotiations conclude and the government reopens, yet the aftermath lingers. The emotional scars, the financial setbacks, and the disruption to lives cannot be erased immediately. The rebuilding of trust, the recovery of lost ground, and the re-establishment of routines take time and conscious effort. The experience leaves an imprint on the national consciousness, shaping future expectations, policy discussions, and the relationship between citizens and government. In the quiet moments after the lights come back on and their offices reopen, the people who endured the shutdown carry memories of uncertainty and perseverance. They carry stories of resilience and community. They carry lessons about the intersection of politics and human lives, and perhaps most importantly, they carry hope that even when systems fail, the human spirit can prevail. They remind the nation that beyond the chambers of power and their political theater, there are real lives being shaped every day by the decisions made in the halls of government. The longest federal government shutdown in U.S. history is not just a footnote in political archives, it is a chapter in the ongoing story of a nation grappling with governance and human consequence. It is a reminder that behind every policy and every decision, there are lives affected and futures altered. It is a call to empathy, understanding, and responsibility, a cinematic reminder that even in the most powerful democracy, the people are the true measure of its strength and their enduring heartbeat of its promises.